Hello, how's everybody doing? I think I'm the only one here right now, but that's okay. Let's see. I'm just getting everything set up right now. I'm just gonna type in chat. Alright, while I'm still waiting for people to show up, I guess I can figure out how I want to, like, handle this. There's so much empty space if I, like, put this here. Let's put this in the center. And I believe the chat... Oh, the chat isn't showing up there. Let's see, which source would I use for that? Let's see, VLC. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Screw it. I guess nothing will beat good old window capture. Or video capture, I should say. Because window capture does not work. Alright, display capture. You're gonna see some stuff. Let's see. Transform. This is gonna be really weird, but you know what? We'll make it work. Let me put this on this side. Not what I wanted. I want to try to make this work. There we go. That works. Let's settle with that, and I think we're basically good to go. There's still a little empty space up there, but that could easily be fixed. Let me just yoink this. Put that up there, and boom. Okay, and with that, I think it's time to study some Japanese. Let's go, everyone. Ganbatte. You might hear some noise in the background because the dehumidifier is on. It's a little bit, you know, humid. Of course, I don't want it to be too dry either. Okay, let's see. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I wanted to disable the preview because I am comfortable enough knowing that this will work out. Okay. Let's go on to the main scene and let's get this show on the road. Just want to see the sound settings really quick, because I may want to turn it up a little. There we go. Alright, so My Japanese Coach. This is a game for the Nintendo DS, and I believe it was also on mobile phones as well. It's a pretty good game for that sort of thing, considering, you know, the writing you should know about in Japanese. As you saw, it was developed by Sensory Sweep Studios and published by Ubisoft. And this is a part of a series of My Language Coach games, because this isn't the only one. There's also My Spanish Coach, French Coach, Chinese Coach. There's a bunch. So, yeah. So, I could make myself a new profile, but I think I'm actually just going to use the file I already have. I'll even do a save state here. Why not? Let me go into options really quick. There we go. So, you wouldn't get to this screen right away when you start a new profile. You know what? I might as well show you what making a new profile is like first. Alright, so when we make a new profile, we gotta type in our name first. Anata no namae wa nan desu ka? This means, what's your name? So we just gotta type in our name. I'll do it in all caps, just so I could distinguish the difference. Watashi no namae wa Dai desu. Tap enter. Anata wa nan desu ka? This means, what are you? So, well, it doesn't say I'm a crocodile anywhere, but man's the next best option. Watashi wa otoko no hito desu. Doko kara kimashita ka? This means, where are you from? So, we can say, America jin desu. I come from America. Canada jin desu. I come from Canada. France jin desu. I come from France. Or Sonota desu. I guess some other country. So, yeah, I'm from America. America Jin desu. The first thing you need to know is how to get around. So, you gotta take a placement test, and it'll tell you about... Well, it'll say this way. So, each time you play a game, you'll be rewarded with mastery points for correct answers. You have 3 minutes to answer as many questions as you can. However, if you get 2 in a row wrong, that will also end the test. Don't worry about if you try to get the right answer. It's called a placement test, so it's basically just telling you where you're going to be leaving off. Like, where you're going to start from. So, I'm just gonna go through all of these. If I answer them perfectly, I wonder where I'm going to end up.
ダメ。
Bye, さようなら。
さようなら。漫画、
Manga.
アニメ、
ね。
忍者、津波、カラオケ、
9,
9、
10, 10,
10、
2, 2,
2、
4,
4、
5. 黒い、
黒い、
ピンク、
ピンク、
赤い、
赤い、
黄色、
黄色、
緑
緑、
で、日、
日、
火曜日、
火曜日、
明日。
明日、
That's one way of saying tomorrow, at least. 月曜日、
月曜日、
金曜日。
金曜日、
Oh, kana.
う、い、く、
あ、
あ、
か、
か、
11月、
11月、
7月、
7月、
October 10月、
10月、
April 4月、
4月、
1月、
1月、
2, oh, it's kana again. So, ta. Which one is... Oh, geez, I can hardly read that.
つ、
Wonder if I can do something about the filtering or something. し、
し、
私たち、
私たち、
それら、
それら、
they masculine, 彼ら、
彼ら、
you, あなた、
あなた、
me, male informal, 僕、
僕、
who,
ふ、
no, this one,
の、
ね、それ、
ね、
な、
な、
は。
は、
Okay, so you skip ahead to lesson 11 if you get perfect on that placement test, which, considering there are 100 lessons, I think there's 100, it's a fine amount, I suppose. I just thought it was going to be more than that. Alright, I'm gonna... Oh, I guess it wants me to do this lesson next. You've completed your first lesson. Sugoi! That means great in Japanese. Now you are free to play more games to increase your mastery points on all the words of this lesson. When you fully master every word in the lesson, you'll unlock the next lesson with more words to learn. Some lessons will also unlock new games for you to practice with. One more thing, be sure to practice these words outside the game, in the real world. This will lead to true mastery of the language. Now get going. Do you think those words are going to master themselves? Alright, so now we're on to the, this screen. So we can choose from learning, games, reference. What reference is that you can take a look at a dictionary to look up what words you have learned or want to use. And there are a lot of words. Let me show you. Yeah, that's a lot of words. And you're only going to be learning like 10% of those words throughout the 100 lessons. Because, well, once you finish the 100 lessons, if I can go to my actual profile, this one. When we go to learning, once you've finished lesson 100, it goes to open plan, and what that does is that it will basically give you 10 random words that you would learn. I haven't done any of the open plan because I do not like the sound of that. Just learning random words without any sort of theme to them, that's not very good. I really don't think that's a good idea. So, basically, once you're done with the 100 lessons, I would highly advise a learner to seek out other sources, like for grammar, for vocabulary within a theme. There are many resources online you can take advantage of, and much of them are free. So don't worry too much. Alright, so with that, how about we do a little bit of studying? We'll do some learning. Alright, we'll click learning. We'll go to lessons 1 through 29, and we'll go through the whole thing together. So we have this map when we go to a place. When we go to a set of lessons, we can see a bit of a map of a region in Japan. So for the first part, we have Tokyo. And it'll also tell us about various landmarks within the region. As you can see, it starts when we get to one of these blue dots, which is every 5 lessons. So, let's start here at lesson 1. Tokyo. The 23 special wards of Tokyo, although each is a city, constitute the area informally considered as the city of Tokyo. So yeah, Tokyo is huge. But anyway, let's move on. Hi, I'm Haruka. Haruka. It's nice to meet you. I'm here to teach you Japanese. So let's get right into it. Here's a list of words in Japanese. They're all very basic words that you will hear all the time. So, when we click forward, these lists of words are very useful. Click on the button to hear the word and see it written in Latin letters. So we have these 5 words on the touch screen here. Yeah, as you can see right here. Alright, so when we don't push the button, you can see the words written in what is called kana. This is the writing style of the Japanese language. And when we click on the button,
い、
well, we can listen to how the word is pronounced, and we can also see it written in Latin letters. When we see Japanese letters written this way, we often call it romaji. It's not pronounced romaji or romaji or whatever. It's romaji. But we'll get into pronunciations a little bit later in this game. So,
い、
E, that means good.
ダメ、
The opposite, dame, means bad. Now, good here, E, this can also mean something like pleasurable or okay. So keep that in mind. And dame is something unpleasurable or not okay.
はい、
Hai is yes.
いいえ、
Ie means no. Now, something about hai is that in some instances when you hear this word, it's not necessarily directly translated to yes, but it's a way of saying you understand something. It's a way of saying this is correct. I know what's going on. Basically that.
いいえ、
Yeah. In conversation, you might just hear it as yeah. It's easier to say that way after all, but don't get confused with ie, which means house. They are pronounced the same, but through context, you'll know the difference.
こんにちは、
And konnichiwa. And something else to note. This is
Hi.
hai. This is
こんにちは、
konnichiwa. Notice that they both use this kana. This is the ha kana, but when we say hello, konnichiwa, it's pronounced wa. So be mindful of that. This is because it's the wa particle, but again, don't worry about that right now. I'm sure everybody at least knows konnichiwa. Next up, above the list of vocabulary words are tabs with a couple of options. Write lets you practice writing the word in Japanese characters. Speak lets you compare your voice against mine. Try to match my pronunciation. So, goodbye,
さようなら、
sayonara. This,
これ、
kore, that,
それ、
sore. Thank you,
ありがと
arigato. And I formal.
う、私、
Now, as you can see right here, I formal. When we refer to somebody via pronouns like myself, someone, them, they, there is a formal and an informal version typically. So you'll want to be mindful of that. Watashi here is the formal way of referring to yourself. But if you are a boy and are comfortable with, speaking Japanese, you would instead say boku or even ore. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure if my Japanese coach throughout the 100 lessons teaches you the word ore. But it's actually a very important pronoun to know. A lot of characters in anime use it, and people, textbooks will say that it's like an arrogant way of saying, referring to yourself, like a rough way of saying to yourself, referring to yourself, but people tend to use it all the time, so don't worry about that. But to start off, just remember watashi, and it is even gender neutral, so you don't have to worry about if you are a boy or a girl to use it. Anyhow, what Haruka was saying, we can practice our speaking here.
さようなら
So you can record yourself, but unfortunately, I'm using an emulator called, I'm not sure how you would pronounce it, Desmume, but yeah, it's a DS emulator, but unfortunately, the mic isn't really supported on PC. It's only supported on Mac for some reason. So, yeah, I can't really do this recording thing, but that's okay. I'm already recording for this stream. And there will be a VOD, so I'll be uploading that. I don't have to worry about recording whatsoever. And there are no games where you have to speak, so that is a real blessing for me. And then there's right. So, for example, let's write watashi. Wa. Can clear that. Now, as you can see, I'm writing with a mouse. It's clearly going to be difficult. And for some reason, I'm guessing if you hold on to the screen for too long, the game just stops registering your strokes, which is stupid, to be honest. But there you go. There's a good waff for you. Next is ta. We write it like this. Ta. Shi. That's an easy one. It's a fishing hook. That looks too angular. That could be confused with the katakana re, but I guess you wouldn't have to worry about that just yet if you're just starting out learning Japanese. I mean... Oh, hey, Gecko Man! Konnichiwa! How's it going? Do desu ka? How they would say it. Anyway, those are our first 10 words of My Japanese Coach. You'll need to master all the words in each lesson before you can move on. I track them by giving you mastery points. And for the sake of flow, I am doing, as you might have saw at the beginning of the stream, I am using an already completed profile. Well, completed in air quotes, like I said, I'm not doing the open plan. But anyway, the thing about My Japanese Coach is that they want you to master the words of each lesson before you could go on to the next one. And you can get mastery points by playing games. When you mastered all the words in a lesson, you'll get a new one. With enough mastery points, you could even get new games and titles. You don't want to be a baby forever, do you? Alright, your title, when you very first start, it's going to be baby. Then once you level up, it'll be toddler, then it'll be kindergarten, the first grade, second grade, until you get to, I think it's high school sophomore, I think it's called. But don't take those titles literally, because the amount of words that you learn by the time you get to first grade, you're not at like the Japanese first grade level. Because, yeah, I don't know. It's really weird why they decided to do this. They could have done it like, they could have started with baby, but they go to rookie, like up and coming or something like that. Or they could have given you like ranks like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, jade, ruby, something like that. I don't like how they did it in this. But anyhow, enough talking about it, try it out for yourself. So the first game we have is Hit a Word. It's basically whack-a-mole. Oh, whoops.
それ
So for whack-a-mole, I think you have to... What is it? You have to get over...
はい
Oh, I guess it's over 60% in order to, pass.
いい
This kore. Now, if you're playing along,
これ
there's kana on my screen, but it's going to be in Romaji when you're, like, doing this first off.
いいえ
Sayonara. It's the long word, so that's easy enough for me.
さようなら
Hello, that's konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Thank you. That would be arigato.
Arigato.
I formal. Watashi. For
私
some reason, I just couldn't click that. And bad is dame.
Dame.
Alright, so once you're done with a mini game, you will, of course, earn mastery points when you have succeeded in, like, doing the objective for the word. So this bar would fill up until it gets to this star, and you'll move on to the next lesson when all of these bars are filled. So there we go. Let's see. Oh, Gecko is telling me that the cover artwork is lit. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Fun fact, I learned some Japanese from my Neo Geo games. Galford from Samurai Shodown says arigato when he wins. Arigato means thank you, as you might know. Yeah, I wonder what people's earliest, memories of, being submersed in Japanese are. For me, it was Super Smash Bros. Melee with Marth and Roy, but also there's a game called Pokemon Channel on the GameCube, and you can unlock a Japanese version of the Pichu brothers in Party Panic, which is really cool. So that's basically how I first got submersed in Japanese way back when I was a kid. So you could play the game again if you like, but I'm gonna keep on moving. You can always do the studying yourself. How was it? Did you get a lot of mastery points? Probably not enough to master the whole lesson yet. Just keep at it and you'll get a new lesson in no time. Here's another game to practice with. Enjoy. So you can still get mastery points for the same words by doing multiple mini games. So you don't have to play the same one over and over and over again, unless you think it's really effective for you, but hey. Ah, Rosetta Stone. That's a name that takes me back. So, multiple choice. Hello?
こんにちは。
Oh, now it's in Romaji.
いいえ。ダメ。
I believe multiple choice ends up not being very good for me in the long run because, well, as you can see, I had Kana with the other game,
私。
but for this game,
はい。
it's always Romaji.
それ。
Once I'm done here, I'll explain more about that sort of thing.
ありがと
So, after you're past lesson 30 in My Japanese Coach, that is when the mini games are going to start using kana instead of Romaji, which is when the Japanese words are written in Latin letters or Roman letters or whatever. It's basically a way for you to exercise that sort of thing. What am I trying to say? Well, once you get to lesson 30, there is a difficulty setting in the options, and it automatically turns the kana on. But if you find learning the words that way to be too difficult, you still can turn it off. But if you're going to be submersing yourself in Japanese material, obviously you're going to want kana, because it's everywhere. And later on, we'll also be learning kanji, which is also very important. We're off to a good start. You'll be able to speak Japanese before you know it. Next time, I'll cover more on pronunciation. Alright, so you can move on to the games menu at the end of each lesson, so you can rack up more mastery points, or you could go to the best lesson map by hitting forward. So, next on our route is pronunciation. Let's look at some words that many people are familiar with. These are words that are commonly used in English. See how many you can recognize. I do have some trivia to share. I also took Chinese/Mandarin in my sophomore year of high school. If you implement Chinese characters, they are considered kanji. Kanji is pretty much ancient Japanese. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the Japanese kanji is borrowed from China. So, basically, the meanings of the kanji in Japanese are going to be very similar, if not exactly the same, as the kanji that are in Chinese. That said, however, they are often read differently. They have, like, two classes of readings called kunyomi and onyomi. Onyomi comes from China. Kunyomi is the Japanese reading. But you don't have to worry about that right now. So these are words, you need to pay close attention to differences in pronunciation. English speakers pronounce them based on English rules, but the original words are pronounced quite differently in Japanese. So so in English we pronounce this karaoke, but in Japan we say
カラオケ
karaoke. This is kamikaze, as we say in English, but in Japanese they say
神風
kamikaze. The way it's said, it's basically a god wind. We say karate, they say
空手
karate. Anime,
アニメ
anime. Manga,
漫画
manga. So, pay close attention to the pronunciation of these words.
カラオケ神風空手アニメ漫画
Did you compare them with how they sound in English? The sound isn't the only thing that changed. In English, for example, manga and anime refer to certain styles of comics and cartoons. But in Japanese, manga refers to all comics and anime refers to all cartoons. Also, most Japanese people don't use the word kamikaze. Here's another set of words for you. Remember to check the English pronunciation against the Japanese. So, we call it a futon. They say
布団
futon. Romaji,
ローマ字
romaji. Tsunami,
津波
tsunami. Samurai,
侍
samurai. Ninja,
忍者
ninja. In the French language, anime is pronounced the same way over there. Ah, very well then. There are a few things I need to point out. Romaji is what we call Japanese that is written in English letters instead of Japanese characters. That is what I had been saying plenty of times before, but a reminder never hurts. Also, a futon is a mattress that you sleep on in Japan. They're really comfortable. Are you feeling comfortable with these words? Then it's game time! Ganbatte! So then we have hit a word. Let's do it. Kamikaze.
Kamikaze.
Samurai.
Samurai.
Futon. Oh, whoops.
布団
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Manga.
Manga.
Anime. Just gotta look for the katakana.
Anime.
Karate. Perfection!
空手
Ninja.
Ninja.
Romaji. Also gotta look for the katakana here. Come on, click, thank you.
ローマ字
Karaoke.
Karaoke.
There we go. So, if you were doing this for the first time, when it's all these words are in Romaji in the minigames. That minigame is a joke. Because you're basically just seeing the word in English and you are seeing the word in English from the Gophers. So they're literally the same words. You shouldn't have any trouble mastering those words. But since I've unlocked the higher difficulty with the kana, it's a little more of a challenge. But anyway, if I may say something about hit a word, I find it to be very useful to practice sort of speed reading or pattern recognition with those kana. I think because of that, hit a word actually makes for a pretty good mini game. There you go. It's important to know how to pronounce the words correctly in Japanese. Try your best to match my pronunciation. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Let's go through one more game to get ready for the next lesson. This one is word search. Now, word search is not kana compatible, so it has to be Romaji. But I'm kind of okay with this.
神風
In the easiest difficulty of the word searches,
ローマ字
they are all horizontal, I believe.
津波カラオケ忍者布団漫画アニメ
Yeah. There's a setting for doing vertical as well, and then there's also, you could also do diagonals. I don't think there are any in reverse, though. I might be wrong about that. Ha! Try telling that to Gex 2 and 3 with Super Mario 64. Well, hey, different strokes for different folks, as they say. Alright, so there's that. If you master all the words from this lesson, the next lesson will become available. I'm looking forward to teaching you more, so hurry up and master those words. Alright, next up, we're going to be learning about numbers. Now, once I'm done with this lesson, there's actually something really confusing about numbers that I think I should mention. So, look forward to that. Now that we've eased into Japanese with some familiar words, let's cover something else that everyone is familiar with. Numbers! Suji! Numbers are very useful and are easy to remember. Let's get started. Here are 1 through 5. Give them a touch to see how they are spoken. Or hear how they are spoken.
1
Ichi,
2
ni,
3
san,
4
yon,
5
go. Notice that when you touch the Japanese words in the table below, they change between Japanese and Romaji. Yeah, we've noticed that for a while. Now here's 6 through 10.
6
Roku,
7
shichi,
8
hachi,
9
kyu,
10
ju. Touch them on and off to check your memory. It's time for a quick quiz. I know you'll do well. Alright, let's go for it. 10, 10,
10
ichi,
1
san,
3
kyu,
9
go,
5
roku,
6
yon,
4
shichi,
7
ni,
2
hachi,
8
hachi. Alright, not too hard, I'd say. To use numbers to their fullest extent in Japanese, you'll need to know counters. Counters tell the numbers what kind of thing they are counting. They can be a little confusing, so we'll cover them in a later lesson. Oh, okay, I guess Haruka tells us about that anyway. When you are counting various things, they use different, They use different suffixes. Like, if you're counting general things, you would say, actually, the numbers have entirely different readings when you count general things. So instead of saying ichi, you would say hitotsu. Or when you're counting two things, it's futatsu. Then it's mitsu, yotsu, itsutsu, mutsu, nanatsu, or is it nanotsu? I think it's nanatsu. Well, you get the idea. It's a little strange there, but then when you count small round objects, you say ikko, nikko, sanko, yokko. When you're counting birds, you say ichiwa, niwa, sanwa. That they all have different kinds of counters, and they're not all going to be covered in my Japanese coach. But that's something critical you have to remember when it comes to numbers and counting things. But let's not worry about that too much right now. We'll just, deal with those as they come along. And as you say, Gecko, 4 and 7 have two different readings. For 4, we have yon or shi. With 7, it's either shichi or nana. The character Hachi from One Piece also gets his name because octopi have 8 arms. Naturally. Alright. Some simple counters that don't make us change how the numbers are said are en, or yen, and nen, years. See how they're used below. So, 5 yen, we say goen. 10 yen, we say juen. This is small change, though. Oh, this is small change, though. 1 yen is only worth about a penny. I'm not sure how true that statement is currently, but it's probably still, in a general sense, accurate. Alright, and now we have year, nen. In the phrases below, it says year first because it is telling the number of the year, not how many years there are. Sannen,
3年
shichinen.
7年
Even if you don't know the correct counter yet, you should practice counting things in Japanese. Remember that practice makes perfect, or at least very good. Here are numbers from 11 to 15, so you could count even higher. Notice that we're putting 10 before the number we want to say. This works all the way up to 19.
11
11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You're doing well so far. I think you deserve a new game. Give it a try. Well, this isn't a new game, but I think the next one might be. So yeah, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, or 18, 19, and then we say niju for 20. And then we could say sanju, yoju, golju, etc. Anyhow, I have heard places where instead of saying shichi, when we even just count like this, they would say nana. I don't think there's any difference whatsoever. If there is, well, let me know. Alright, so let's hit a word. 11, that's juichi.
Juichi.
14, that's juyon.
Juyon.
Oh, wasn't paying attention there. I didn't pass that. 15. Jugo.
15.
12. 12.
12.
7.
7.
9. Q.
9.
6. 6. 6.
6.
8. 8.
8.
13. Jusan. Ah, shoot.
13.
I still barely passed. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure when you're seeing numbers in Japanese, you'll always see them like how we see them with the Roman numerals, or you might see them in kanji. I don't think you would rarely see them spelled out in kana like you just saw, at least from my experience. Alright, remember that you need to master all the words in the lesson in order to move on to the next one. I know you can do it. Alright. So there's that. Lesson 4. This is colors. Ready for some basic colors? Colors are everywhere, so they're easy to point out and practice with. In Japanese, some colors are adjectives and some are nouns. Adjectives are words that describe nouns. There are 2 kinds of adjectives in Japanese, but don't worry about it too much now. I'll just cover the very basics. White, black, red, and blue are adjectives. Just put them in front of the word that needs color. So we have shiroi,
白い
kuroi,
黒い
aoi,
青い
akai,
赤い
and
緑
midori is a noun. Now, I think you can actually make these nouns, white, black, blue, and red, just by getting rid of the E here. So, that's something for you. Here's some examples of these adjectives in use. So when we want to describe a red apple, we say
赤いリンゴ
akai ringo. When we want to describe black paper, we say
黒い紙
kuroi kami. So that is how these adjectives are used. So let's say the buttons here are green. Well, actually, bad example right now, because we're going to be learning about how colors like that are going to be used like now. Here's some more colors that are nouns. Green from the last list is also a noun. We have brown,
茶色
chairo. Now, an easy way to remember chairo here is that you might think of brown as the color of tea. Later on, we'll know ocha, which means tea in Japanese. So that's how I can distinguish chairo
茶色
from hairo.
灰色
Hairo is gray. Yellow,
黄色
kiro. Orange and pink are in katakana.
オレンジ色
Orenji, iro. We just add that iro to let us know it's a color.
ピンク
And then pink. In order to connect a noun to a noun, we need to put a no particle between the words. Remember to put the color before the noun. It would go in this order. Color, no, noun. See the examples below. So, yellow hat,
黄
kiro
色
no
の帽子
boshi, kiro no boshi, and gray car,
灰色の車
hairo no kuruma. Oh, when Burger King was promoting their Ringo Whopper in Japan, Silent Rob got it confused with the Beatle who nobody cared about. He asked about the BK McCartney. Okay. That's strange. I'll have to look into that because that's pretty funny. All right, time to get some practice in. Black, kuroi,
黒い
kuroi. Shiroi,
白い
orenji,
Orenji
orenji iro. Hairo,
灰色
aoi,
青い
kiiro. Oh, shoot, that's what happens with romaji. Midori,
緑
akai,
赤い
pink,
ピンク
chairo.
茶色
There we go. What is your favorite color? Did I cover it? My favorite color is pink. It's so cute. Remember to practice in real life. It's okay to say the noun in English if you don't know it in Japanese yet. Just remember which colors are adjectives and which are nouns. Let's get a little more practice in. Remember that until you master all the words of the lesson. I can't teach anything. Yeah, we know that. Brown, chairo. Perfection. Black, kuroi.
Kuroi.
Pink. This one's in katakana, so that would be easy enough to remember.
Pink.
Right? Hairo.
Haiiro.
Blue. Aoi.
Aoi.
Green. Midori. Oh, jeez. I'm messing up.
Midori.
Orenji-iro. Oh. Yeah, the words are kind of poking out of bounds there because the word's just too long. Red, akai.
Akai.
White, shiro, shiroi.
Shiroi.
And yellow, kiro.
Hiro.
White is also shiro. Yeah, I basically said that before. I learned that from Samurai Showdown 1 and 4's final boss, Shiro Takisara Makusa. Alright, let's move forward. You're making great progress. Now go finish mastering those words. Ganbatte. Alright, this seems like a little bit of an information dump for anybody who could be, like, learning Japanese for the first time, so I guess I could split this up a little. Next, we'll do Lesson 5, Days of the Week. What day is it? Kyou wa nanyoubi desu ka? Let's cover the days of the week. You know, Sunday through Saturday. All you have to do is say, it is blank. Fill in the blank with Sunday, Monday, whatever works best for you. This works out to blank des in Japanese. Nichiyobi desu. It is Sunday. Now, it's spelled desu, but it's truncated to just des. That's something important to keep in mind when you're speaking Japanese. Go ahead and get used to the vocabulary. Focus on the sound of my voice. Monday is Getsuyobi. Tuesday is Kayobi. Wednesday is Suiyobi.
Suiyobi.
Thursday is Mokuyobi.
Mokuyobi.
Friday is Kinyobi.
Kinyobi.
Des is a form of to be in Japanese. It's a very useful word, and I have a whole lesson dedicated to it. Saturday is Doyobi.
Doyobi.
Sunday is Nichiyobi.
Nichiyobi.
Day is Hi.
Hi.
Today is Kyo.
Kyou.
Tomorrow is Ashita.
Ashita.
Get some practice in. I'll be waiting for you. So, more hit a word. Tomorrow, ashita.
Ashita.
Saturday, doyobi.
Doyobi.
Tuesday, kayobi. It's the shorter one.
Kayobi.
Today, kyo.
Kyou.
Sunday, nichiyobi. Pretty easy to distinguish between those.
Nichiyobi.
Thursday, mokuyobi. Perfection.
Mokuyobi.
Day, hi. I do believe it's the shortest one. Monday, getsuyobi.
Getsuyobi.
Friday. Kinyobi.
Kinyobi.
And Wednesday, Suiyobi.
Suiyobi.
Let's see. Whenever I think of Shiroi or Shiori, think of the character from the dating visual novel Growth Academy. Posterior gets bigger as her campaign goes. My goodness. I guess for a game called, or a visual novel called Growth Academy, there's bound to be some sort of growth in one way or another. Japanese air conditioner commercial where Hulk Hogan himself was singing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again. Huh. Now, a strange thing for me is when I hear the days of the week in sequence like that, in elementary school, somebody had the idea to make the days of the week a song like spoofing the Addams Family song. So it basically went like days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. That just always stuck out in my mind as one of my earliest school memories. Alright, now you can say what day it is. So, when we want to say today is Friday, we say
今日は金曜日です。
今日は金曜日です, which is not true, 違うよ。本当に今日は wait. Today is Friday. What am I thinking? Today actually is Friday. I'm sorry. ごめんなさい。明日は土曜日です。
明日は土曜日です。
It's not the first time I confused today's day of the week with another. Happens all the time. Then we can do word search. 日曜日。
日曜日。
今日。
今日。
火曜日。
火曜日。
日。月曜日。
月曜日。
水曜日。
水曜日。
木曜日。
木曜日。
金曜日。
金曜日。
明日。
明日。
土曜日。
土曜日。
Mine was when I was in kindergarten. My teacher put on a mixtape where it sang all the months of the year. Interesting. We all had those weird songs that we sang in kindergarten, elementary school. Next time we're going to practice writing Japanese. Don't forget to master those words. Alright. Let's see, it's already been an hour of, well, me recording, but almost an hour and a half of me streaming. So yeah, as we go along, we're going to be learning some kana as well. Kana is super duper important to know about, so... let's see. I think we'll take a small break, and we'll pick up from here, and we'll do these next few lessons when we get right back. So... feel free to get some water, use the bathroom if you need to, and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. There was some pizza upstairs, so that was delicious. Alright, so I guess with that, I think it's time to get back to studying some more Japanese. We'll do 5 more lessons, and then we'll call it a stream. Alright. So our next lesson will be Kana 1. Oh, also, since we are past 5 lessons, we're into a new quote-unquote area. So now we get to know about Akihabara. Akihabara is best known as one of the largest shopping areas on Earth for electronic, anime, and otaku goods, including new and used items. Yeah, I was playing Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, and Akihabara is one of the locations you go to, and it's called like the Anime Nerd's Paradise or something. So, yeah, maybe if you want to visit Japan and you're a huge anime or manga nerd, then be sure to stop by Akihabara. Or you could just shorten it to Akiba. That also works. Let's learn some kana. I could just hear you asking, Haruka, I thought Japanese had funny symbols for words. Why are we learning Japanese without those symbols? Don't worry, we're going to start learning them now. Before we can really learn Japanese, we need to be able to use kana. Kana refers to both hiragana and katakana, which are 2 of the writing systems that are used in Japanese. The other system is kanji. It's more complicated than the other 2, so we'll come back to that later. For now, we're going to start learning hiragana, since it's the default writing system for Japanese. Here are the first 5 characters. Be sure to use the speak and write functions below. The letters on this page are the vowels. A, I, U, E, O. Those are the 5 vowels. Excuse me. So, now it's pretty important to start writing these as well. To learn Japanese, it's not good enough to just read the letters. It'll help a lot, like, retaining these characters in memory if we write them. So, 1, 2, 3. Yuck! That looks bad. One, 2, 3. That's a little better. Thing is, you kind of want to make sure there's plenty of open space here. Yeah, like that. One of the kana we'll be writing is this no particle. No, it's not just a particle. It's a kana. So that's actually a part of. It's a part of the kana, as you can see. All right. Next is I. This could be a little tricky to write because you want to get that sort of balance. A good way to think of it is you're kind of flowing into the next stroke. Like, the flow is like this. There, see? Ah, that almost matched there. Is next. I'm sure some people here are impressed that I'm writing, like, as clean as I can with the mouse. Next is eh. I like the look of this one. I mean, it doesn't mean it's easy to write. But yeah, you can still tell it's an eh. And next is oh. Now, you want to be careful not to confuse ah with oh. The gecko has returned. Ah, alright. So, this is oh. It has this loop here, this wide open space, and this thing here. While ah here. Actually, an easy way to remember that this is ah is you see the A right here? Yeah, that's a good mnemonic for that. So, yeah, it's not just important to read these kana, it also helps to write them so you can just, like, keep them in your memory. It's why taking notes is so gosh darn important when you're in school. Never underestimate the power of just writing what a teacher says. The vowels are always in this order. Also, unlike English, the vowels will always sound the same. So, yeah, Japanese has 5 vowels. A, I, U, E, O. While in English, it's more like There's just so many different ways to, like, make sounds with a single letter. Like, it's just complete and utter nonsense. Part of the reason why English is so difficult. I mean, I'm not saying Japanese is easy, but there's some aspects of Japanese that are easier than in English. Anyway, next we got here, each character starts with K and is followed by one of the vowels. This pattern is followed by most hiragana. Ka,
ki,
ki,
ku,
ku,
ke,
ke,
ko.
ko. Are you taking a break from Gex 3 because of how torturous Mythology Network was? No, actually. It's just the amount of editing work has kind of gotten me a little bummed out. Or burned out, I should say. And also, not to mention, I'm playing both the PS1 and N64 versions. So... Yeah, I at least know what I'm in for Gangster TV, so it's not going to be as bad as it was the first time, at the very least. Alright, so ka, we write that first, and then that, and then that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This could be a bit difficult to get the balance right, so just think of this part as just the left of the character, and then there's just a lot of space here. Ki. So, ki is quite interesting. So, the thing about ki, as well as some other not kanji, kana that you might see, is that, when you look at this in fonts, you'll see ki like this sometimes, but other times you will see it like cut off here and then go over that way. A later kana, sa, works the same way. It's like this. You could either write it like this or like this. This is like, these are the kinds of kana that I often see. It's usually never connected like this. It's a fun song I remember listening to with Super Allison 20 regarding Japanese. It's super catchy. Oh, okay. Hopefully the Discord situation gets sorted out soon. Ku. Very simple. Think of it like a mouth. Next is ke. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then ko. So yeah, you saw it right out like this, but normally when ko is written, it's more like that. You do a sweep in that direction at the end of that stroke, and then do that. If we're thinking about it being connected, it looks like that. And as a matter of fact, this is actually a radical that is used in kanji. But don't worry about that. Alright, so there we go. Don't forget to see how they are written. The way that you write something is much more important in Japanese than it is in English. Yeah, as a matter of fact, when you learn Japanese and how to write it, stroke order is important. With that said, sometimes my Japanese coach does not give you the correct stroke order. You'll have to be aware of this. All the ones that we've gone over so far are good, but there are some kana that are not going to be, like, written correctly in this game. So just be aware of that. Let's get some practice writing these out. Ganbatte! The song is by 123 Japan if you're curious. Ah, okay. I'll check that channel out. Let's see. Just writing that in my notepad really quick. So we get a new game out of this. Fading characters.
Ki,
So,
ki,
and at number 3, we gotta write this from memory.
ki, ku, ku,
Simple enough, right?
i,
Oh.
おおお
Now, I hadn't started, like, seriously studying Japanese until, like, a little more than a year ago. But back when I was a kid, I actually did study all the kana.
こ
So, there's, like, a little bit of background on me.
こ
I remember I was trying to, like, put words into Google Translate and trying to, like, write them in kana. Problem is, Google Translate,
え
it's not really that good of a translator sometimes, as you probably already know.
え
DeepL's much better when it comes to machine translation, just so you know.
ああ
Alright, next is ke.
けけけ
There we go. As you learn more hiragana, you'll be able to stop writing in English letters. You'll be that much closer to really knowing Japanese. Here are a few words that you can write already. Give it a try.
青い
So we can write aoi
いいえ
and ie. Let's try it out now. A. O. E. And, just so U isn't alone. U. Ue means up in Japanese. I also wonder if you are aware of the PC Engine. I got an Analog Duo game console which allows me to not just play English TurboGrafx 16 games, but also Japanese PC Engine and TurboGrafx, or Super Graphics games. I've heard of the PC Engine by name, but I wasn't sure if I wasn't really sure what it was. I guess it was like one of those gaming computers like the Commodore or the Amstrad. Anyhow. Great. These words use characters for both sets. Test out your memory.
おか
Oka,
行く
iku. If we only had the 46 hiragana characters to choose from, Japanese wouldn't have many ways to pronounce words. But adding more characters isn't a very good solution. Instead, we can place little symbols next to a character to show that it is read differently. The symbol I'm going to talk about this time is the dakuten, also called a tenten. The dakuten looks like quotation marks. It's placed in the top right corner of a character. Not all characters can use a dakuten. All K characters can use a dakuten. Putting a dakuten on them gives them a G sound instead of a K sound. So ka becomes ga, ki becomes gi, ku becomes gu, ke becomes ge, and ko becomes go. And all you have to do is put in that little dakuten, the quotation marks. Alright, we'll exit out of here. I'm sure you get the idea. Let's really get these practiced. I got a new game for you. Write cards. Alright, so write in hiragana.
E,
In hiragana.
a,
This one we really do have to, like, go by memory.
ka,
Or, you know, you can just cheat and write them down beforehand and place the sheet of paper with that right beside you.
ko,
I mean, there's no harm in doing that so long as
ku,
you're learning.
o, ki, ke, u,
There we go. Many people new to Japanese think that each character is a word, but hiragana and katakana only represent sounds. They don't mean any more than the letters of the English alphabet do. Go ahead and practice these some more, and I'll get more hiragana characters ready for you to study. Next time we'll cover the months. Alright, let's move on to doing that right away. Let's cover the months now. They're actually very easy. They are listed out by number. The first month is January, the second month is February, etc. Remember when I mentioned counters? Months are a type of numeric counter. Here are the first 4 months.
1月、
1月、
2月、
2月、
3月、
3月、
4月、
4月. So it's quite literally month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, all the way to month 12. How easy is that? If you remember the numbers, then these are really easy.
5月、
5月、
6月、
6月、
7月、
7月、
8月、
8月. Even though Google Translate isn't always the most reliable of tools, I have been able to fudge with Japanese characters to make neology, made-up words to name the enemies in my game, Project Leviathan. Oh, interesting. Japanese people use standard 12-month calendars just like you.
9月、
9月、
10月、
10月、
11
11
月、
月、
12
12
月、
月. For example, the main enemy in the game is a gecko lizard, but I learned from Cybershell the word for spear is yariko, or yari. And since the enemies wield spears, I named the enemies Yarimori. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, there's even a spear-wielding lizard in Monster Sanctuary that is named Imori. So, you're not too far off there. Anyhow, notice, April,
4月、
instead of Yongatsu, we say Shigatsu. And for September, instead of Kyugatsu, we say
9月、
Kugatsu. These are different readings of the same word, basically. Got them memorized? Earn some mastery. Word search. This shouldn't be hard at all. Just look for
3
Gatsu.
月、7月、1月、12月、11月、8月、2月、4月、9月、10月。
Now notice only 10 words could fit in the word search. If you want to learn the remaining 2 months, you'll have to play the games a little more. So it's going to take just a little bit more time to master those words, even though they're really easy. Remember how you use days of the week? Months can be used the same way. 9月です。
9月です。
4月です。
4月です。
Honto ni gogatsu desu. Now, this is very interesting. We have a very early introduction of kanji being used here. So, let me give you a look here. So, this is the kanji for kyu, ku. It means 9. So, if you want to practice writing that now, you can. This is the kanji for month. So this is gatsu, getsu. It also means moon. So it can also be read as tsuki. And then des. Get some more practice in on the vocabulary. Multiple choice. We could just do this rapid fire. 8月、10月、
10月、
3月、
3月、
6月、
6月、
11月、
11月、
9月、
9月、
7月、
7月、
5月、
5月、
12月。
12月。
There we go. Great. Did you get September right? That's when my birthday is. When is your birthday? Birthday wa 5月です. Oh, that's right. My birthday's actually coming up really soon. I'm going to be 26. I'm going to be so old. Also, the main enemies in my game is the Gecko Empire, and since nighttime means gecko in Japanese, in the Heart of Second quest, geckos come at you everywhere, and are even more aggressive. Huh. That wasn't too hard, was it? Next time we're going to cover more hiragana. And we'll do just that. Good to see you again. I've got more characters that I want to teach you. This time, we'll be covering the hiragana starting with S and T. Don't forget to listen to the pronunciation and check how to write it. Stroke order is very important.
さ、
Sa,
し、
shi,
す、
su,
せ、
se,
そ、
so. Ah, thanks for the early birthday. Okay, sa, like I said, that is another one of those kana that does this. So, I can't write the whole thing because there's a stroke limit. Next is shi. It's a fishing hook, plain and simple. S. It's a loop-de-loop. Drink the soup with a straw or a spoon. Se. Se is a pretty interesting character, in my opinion, because the hiragana se, the katakana se, and the kanji se as part of the word sekai, they look very similar. I think that's pretty interesting. Just thought I should point that out. We're not going to be learning the kanji for se or sekai in this game right now, but just something to keep in mind. Now, so is a little tricky. It's like a little squiggle of sorts. It's almost like a zigzag, except it's more curvy here. Alright, let's exit out of that. Did you see what was different with the S set? Oh yeah, that's right. We don't say si, we say she. The second character has an extra letter in it. That is because the character has more of a sh sound than a s sound. There are a few other characters that don't fit perfectly with the rest of the sounds. So yeah, sometimes when Japanese transliterates something that has she, you might see it as C instead. An example I can think of would be Yoshi. So, you know how Yoshi is spelt here, but there are some times where it's actually spelled Y-O-S-S-Y. I've seen that in, like, a few instances. So just be aware of that, I suppose. Anyway, for example, with the T characters, there are two that are pronounced differently, chi and tsu. So instead of T, we say chi. Instead of tu, we say tsu. Ta, chi, tsu, te, to. And we'll practice writing these. 1, 2, 3, 4. This part of ta here is basically a miniature ko. So just write it like that. Chi. Tsu. An easy one to know about. But it can be pretty deceptively difficult to write. Because you kind of want that little curve here. You don't want it to be flat like that or just sloping down. We want to do what is called kimochi up. I've learned that from a Japanese learning channel called Tokini Andy. Whenever you write something, if something looks like it's going to be a little straight, you want to have a slightly upward slant like that. I guess it just gives it a little more character, sometimes even more balance. I mean, Japanese handwriting is kind of an art in and of itself. More of an art than writing in English, that's for sure. Te, and then to. To can be a little tricky for me sometimes. Alright. Remember when I told you about the Dakuten earlier? The Dakuten works for both the S and T characters. The S characters turn into Z sounds, and the T characters turn into D sounds. However, the She character with a Dakuten turns into a G. The Chi with a Dakuten turns into a G, and the Tsu turns into a Z. Yeah, so they are basically pronounced the same. G, G, Z, Z. They're just written differently. So you're probably wondering what the heck is the difference. Well, these, like the G and the Z with the Dakuten there, those you would often see with, at least I often see them with words that originally started with chi or tsu, but they might get modified of sorts when being turned into a new word. I'll have to think of an example later on, but for right now, just you won't really see this for most words that we're going to be learning right now. So I don't think we need to practice writing the Doc-ten.
ざ
Za,
じ
ji,
ず
zu,
ぜ
ze,
ぞ
zo,
だ
da,
じ
ji, zu, de,
ど
do. Feeling confident? Let's get some practice writing them. Oh. Didn't like that.
すすす
Se,
せせせ
shi.
しし
This one's easy.
し
So,
そそそ
tsu,
つつつ
sa.
さ
Final boss for Project Leviathan is Lizard Lord Zard,
さ
but his name in Japanese is Tokage, ancient Japanese for Shadow of the Dragon.
ち
Okay.
ちててて
Ta,
たたた
to,
ととと
Alright, there we go. How did you do? The more practice you get writing hiragana, the easier it will become. Most people find hiragana easier to use than romaji after they've been using it for a while. Don't forget that the main use of romaji is for people that don't know Japanese. Switch over as soon as possible. Let's keep up at it. Hiragana is very different from your writing system, so you have to be sure to practice. Right. Se,
せ
so,
そ
su,
す
chi,
ち
tsu,
つ
shi,
し
te,
て
sa,
さ
to,
と
ta.
た
Easy. Tokage translates as simply lizard in normal Japanese. Oh yeah, but in ancient Japanese it is literally Shadow of the Dragon. That's very interesting. Yeah, I guess I know Tokage means lizard because Hitokage is the Japanese name of Charmander, and it quite literally means fire lizard. Just some Pokemon trivia for you. Great, get those mastered and then we can cover pronouns. You'll be well on your way to making sentences. All right, let's do those now. Let's learn some new words before we get started on sentence building. Pronouns. Here's some common words used to describe other people. So, Sorera is plural.
それら僕
Boku and
Atashi.
atashi. These are informal words for male and female, respectively.
僕
Boku, you might hear this from Boku no Natsuyatsumi.
私
Atashi, you might hear from Atashinchi. Both of those are great materials for learning Japanese, by the way. Especially like everyday Japanese. Anyhow,
あなた
you, we say anata. However, in Japanese, you don't typically refer to somebody as you. It's kind of considered impolite. You would use anata with like a close person. You wouldn't use it to somebody in general. And an even rougher way of saying you, which I'm sure everybody is familiar with, is omae. Because, you know, I'm sure everybody's heard of omae wa mo shinderu. Nani?
私たち
Anyhow, for we have watashi tachi.
私たち
It's watashi plus tachi. Tachi is an important suffix to know about when learning Japanese, as a matter of fact. This brings us to an important point of Japanese, politeness levels. When you're being polite, you should use words or grammar marked as formal. This should be used when talking to people who are above you in rank. This includes your boss, teachers, people that are older than you, or people that you look up to. But you don't need to talk politely with me. We're friends, right? If you're not talking politely, talk with people your age or younger. Then you can use words that are marked as informal. Most girls will still use watashi instead of atashi, though. So, just to review,
それら
sorera, those people, let's say.
僕
Boku, refer to yourself if you are a male and informal.
私
Tashi, refer to yourself if you're a female, informal.
あなた
Anata, you.
私たち
Watashi tachi, we. But if you're a boy and you're speaking informally, you would refer to yourself as boku. Just to warn you, it's not very polite to refer to other people with a pronoun like he, she, or you. It's better to use their name instead. Which sucks for me because I can be pretty bad with names.
彼
Kare,
彼女
kanojo,
彼ら
karera,
彼女たち
kanojo tachi. There's the tachi again.
あなたたち
Anata tachi, and another tachi. You see how important that suffix is? Tachi is a suffix that refers to a group of people. So, it's important to know. Also, yamori is Japanese for gecko, but imori is newt. I once looked it up on Google. But it came out as a fan service-y manga with a girl who wears a bikini. Oh. Well, okay. I want to make sure that you know these well, so it's game time. Karera,
彼ら
anata,
あなた
kanojo,
彼女
anata tachi,
あなたたち
kare,
彼
atashi,
私
watashi tachi,
私たち
sorera,
それら
kanojo tachi.
彼女たち
What am I missing? Boku.
僕
Imori 201 is the name of the manga. It didn't have an anime adaptation whatsoever. Knowing these words will be very useful in the near future. Be sure to practice them. You're doing great. I want to give you a new game. Flashcards! So, flashcards is basically, you get 4 cards, and you want to match it up to the word. You want to match up the words before the time runs out. It's a lightning round of sorts.
彼らあなたたちあなたあたし彼女彼女たちそれら
Oh, oops.
僕彼私たち
The flashcards minigame is useful also for speed reading, and although personally I still would prefer hit a word because I want to kind of learn to mark down the Japanese word rather than the English translation, but that's just me. Great, get those mastered and we'll cover some more Japanese writing. See you soon. Alright, and that will be this one will be our last lesson here. Kana 3. It's time for even more hiragana. There are a total of 46 hiragana characters. You're halfway through now. Don't forget to listen to the pronunciation and check how to write it. Stroke order is important. So now we're going through the N line.
Na,
Na,
ni,
ni,
nu,
nu,
ne,
ne,
no.
no. Okay, na is the first kana that uses the wrong stroke order in my Japanese coach. I have no idea why they thought from here to here you go over here and then you like go back up and do this. No, it's supposed to be this. That's supposed to be the stroke order. Now, I guess if you're not in Japan and you want to write it like this and it's more comfortable, that's fine. You want to apologize for not attending yesterday's stream? Well, I couldn't stream it on YouTube, so I wondered if that was the problem. I know you have a Twitch, though. So. Alright, next is ni. You know how to write ko, so it's basically the first half of ke. And then ko. Next is nu, which is a really interesting one. Now, new is pretty tricky in the sense that there's another kana that looks just like it, and that is me, which is this. The thing you want to look out for is new. The thing you want to look out for in new... Oh my goodness, my drawing with the mouse under a time limit is not very easy. The thing you want to look out for is this loop-de-loop at the end. We call it a noodle. Noodle. Makes sense, right? Ne. This is another tricky one in the fact that there are 2 other kana that look just like it. There is also re, which is like that, and wa, which is like that. To remember ne easier, think of this like a cat's tail, because ne is a part of neko, which is Japanese for cat. Ah, yeah, thanks for the trivia, Gecko man. Alright, and no... Oh yeah, I guess, one could confuse this with me as well, but, me and nu have this thing that strikes through. But you'll be using no quite a lot, because it's a particle. Anyhow. Pay attention to the fu character. It's not a hard F sound, but it's not really an H sound either.
Ha,
Ha,
hi,
hi,
fu,
hu,
he,
he,
ko,
ho. So,
fu,
fu here, it's basically like a combination of F and H, like in between f and h. It's like you have your lips partially closed and you're just blowing air out. Just like that. That's how you pronounce fu. Use a graphics tablet to write more kinesthetically rather than with a mouse just by itself. Yeah, I understand, but I'm a frugal croc. If I can do it with a mouse, I'm going to stick with the mouse. And yeah, Pikachu sparking mouse. Alright, ha, we've seen this before. Can't think of fuku without the fu at the beginning. Fuku. I didn't really say anything about fuku, but fuku means clothes in Japanese, for anyone wondering. He looks like a horseshoe. Fu, this is a fun one. One, two, three. Dang, that is like the best fu I have ever written. I'm actually impressed about that. Heh. Fairly simple. It's like a hill of sorts. And ho. Oh. Yeah, that's what I said. Fu sounds more like a breath out. Ready for more practice? Alright, let's practice writing these.
hi,
He,
hi, hi,
n,
nu, nu, nu,
no,
no, no, no,
ha,
ha,
or wa if it's being used as a particle. We'll probably learn that next time. Because the wa particle is so darn important.
fu, 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 ni, ni, にへへへほ
ほ、
ほほ
ね、あ、
ねね
uh, apparently net is really hard for me to write. Okay, let me see if I can...
な
Ah, okay, looks like it still reads it.
な
Excellent.
な
There we go. Is it getting a little easier to pick up new characters? They'll get easier with practice. Try to write more words in hiragana at home, at school, anywhere you can. Switch over from Romaji as soon as possible. The N characters can't use a dakuten, but the H characters can. The H characters with a dakuten turn into B sounds. The H characters can also use another symbol, the handakuten, also called a maru. Maru meaning circle, by the way. The handakuten is a little circle placed in the same area as the dakuten. An H sound with a handakuten gets a P sound. The dakuten and handakuten cannot be used at the same time.
は
So ha becomes pa, he becomes pi,
ぷ
hu becomes pu,
ぺ
he becomes pe,
ぽ
and ho becomes po. As an artist, I once got the brush pen at Hobby Lobby, where I tried to draw in the style of Metal Gear Solid, but also works just as epically for writing hiragana too. Yeah, brush pen is like the authentic way to write hiragana, but if you have a plain old pencil, that works too. People in Japan use pencils to take notes as well, just like we do. How well do you remember the new hiragana characters you learned? It's time to test them out.
ふ
Fu, ni,
に
na,
な
hi,
ひ
ne. Let's see if I get this right.
ね
Yes. No.
の
Nu.
ぬ
He.
へ
Ho.
ほ
Ha.
は
Careful not to confuse ha and ho together. As you can see, they look very similar. It's just ho has the extra line at the top. Great, get those mastered, and then we can start making sentences. Then you'll be able to start speaking Japanese rather than just knowing a few words. Alright, excellent. Sugoi. So, next time we'll be using des, which is one of the most important words you'll ever learn in Japanese. It's basically at the end of a lot of sentences. As a sort of sneak peek into the next lesson, there are two types of sentences in Japanese. A is be and a does be. Des is for the a is be sentences. And then there's another thing called masu, which is for a does be. So that's pretty important to know, and we will be learning more about this, as well as more kana, tenses, questions, numbers, and starting up with doing verbs as well. So I think with that, I think it's time we call it here. Thank you very much for tuning in, and let's see when the next stream will be. I think I'm gonna be pretty busy Saturday. I could probably do Sunday. So, yeah, I guess we could expect Sunday. I'll see what I can do on Sunday. Or, you know, maybe I could just do it whenever. I'll keep you posted. I'll be posting what I will be doing on YouTube as well as on my Blue Sky account, so be sure to follow that if you're interested in what I do. I am learning Japanese, as you see, but more than that, I play video games and talk about them, share my love with them. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say, and with that, I will see you next time. This is Dylus signing off.